Hi everybody, this is Rebecca Keppel. I'm super excited to be here for Queen & Co today. I am very excited because I get to show you the Happy Harvest kit. I'm going to show you everything in the kit and how to use it all. This is the 6x6 mat stack that's included, lots of fall pattern papers. There's 2 pieces of glitter cardstock, a 4x6 sentiment stamp set that has lots of autumn sentiments, and then a whole bunch of dies that are different shapes from sunflowers to leaves, turkeys, pumpkins that will create our shakers. Then you have the foam pieces that are die cut to match the dies, and you have all the acetate pieces that are also die cut to perfectly fit on top of those foam pieces. So if you've never seen a Queen & Co shaker made before, I'm going to show you how to put them together. It's super easy, and I think it's the quickest way to make a shaker. There are also lots of toppings in this kit. There are several of the pearls in a bunch of autumn colors, and then there are also the diamonds in autumn colors. So yellows, oranges, lots of different things. Okay, this is the first card that we're going to create, and we're going to use the sunflower die. So we're going to fold this paper, it's 8.5 by 11.5, and I'm going to die cut a circle card by hanging part of the die off the fold of the cardstock and just run it through my Sizzix machine. By hanging that little part of the die off the fold, that part of the fold won't cut and we'll have a nice shaped circle card. I'm also going to cut a piece of pattern paper to match that circle so that it's not white on the front. Okay, now to put together the sunflower, it's a little different than some of the other Queen & Co shakers. I'm going to pop out the center of that sunflower and peel off the protective backing and lay it on my card. I've die cut a little piece of glitter cardstock and I'm going to adhere that in the middle. Now I have the center of the flower, which is that circle. I peel off the backing and lay that inside. And then I had some darker glitter cardstock that I adhered to the middle of the circle. I'm going to pour the toppings right into that circle, and there I made a mistake. I put the little frame, the glitter frame, on top instead of the acetate. No worries, I'll just go and glue it after, but normally you'd want to just put that acetate down and then glue your glitter cardstock on top. Okay, so now I'm pouring all of the little yellow pearls into the petal area of the flower, and then I am going to finally adhere that acetate to the center of the flower there, just with a little tape runner. I'm going to peel off the top protective layer of the flower, lay down the matching acetate, and now it's time to adhere the glitter cardstock that I cut out there. So I didn't like the way that the glitter cardstock for the center of the flower was under the acetate, so I cut another one and just laid it right on top. And that creates the shaker portion of it. Now I'm going to use the stamp set with some dark brown ink to stamp on the pattern paper a little sentiment there, and I'm going to pop that up with a strip of foam adhesive. And that pretty much completes that card. I did add a little bit of trim to it. You'll see in the photo there, but that trim is not part of the kit, so I just wanted to show you how quick and easy it is to create a really cute circle card. Okay, the next shape that we're going to use is the acorn shaker, and I'm going to cut out the nut of the acorn out of the gold glitter cardstock that's included in the kit. I'm going to cut out 2 of these because I'm going to include 2 shakers on my card, and you can absolutely do that, especially with these smaller size shakers. They fit great, multiple of them on an A2 sized card. I'm going to cut out the little caps of the acorn in that darker sort of copper colored cardstock, and it's a really pretty glitter cardstock as well. So you can see that the acorn cuts out a frame. The little cap is just the cap. Now I'm going to layer some pattern papers. I have about a 4¼ by 5.5 and then a slightly smaller card on top of that. And I'm going to stamp my sentiment right in the middle of that smaller piece of pattern paper. I use some anti-static powder tool and my Misty to get my sentiment perfectly lined up, and I use that Misty transparency to get it right in the middle. So I'm going to use some gold embossing powder. You can see when I poured it on at first, I was like, oh no, you're never going to be able to see this. But then once you heat set it, it really starts to shine. And that little cute sentiment, I'm nuts about you, is perfect for these little acorns. So again, pop out the center of the foam shape, peel off that back protective layer and lay it on your pattern paper, your card. Then adhere your centers if you don't want to see the back of the card through the shaker, and I wanted them to be gold. Then pour in your toppings, peel off those top protective layers, and then grab acetates to match and lay those acetates right on top of the foam, because the foam is that double-sided adhesive, so it adheres to your project and it also adheres to the acetate on the top. And then adhere with some tape runner the little frames that you die cut and the caps that you die cut for the acorns. And I thought that was really cute, but I wanted some flat non-shaker acorns as well. So I cut out a few more frames and centers out of the gold cardstock and the sort of rust or copper color cardstock for the caps. And I'm just going to include those in the corners here. So it kind of looks like the acorns are falling off the tree. And I thought about adding a fifth, but I decided not to. Okay, so the next shape that we're going to use is the leaves. And again, I'm going to use 2 of the shakers on one card. These are really pretty leaves and they are a larger size, but I was able to fit 2 of them on one A2 sized card. I thought these leaves would look really pretty if they were cut out of Kraft cardstock and then ink blended on the edges. So I have some Distress Oxide inks. I'm going to use Ripe Persimmon and Barn Door on one leaf, and then I'm going to use Barn Door and Aged Mahogany on the other, and I think it really comes out pretty. I really do like it a lot. It kind of has the effect that looks like the leaf is turning colors. You could definitely add some yellow too for some of them, or some yellow and orange. I'm again going to use 2 different pieces of pattern paper and lay these on top and heat emboss my sentiment with gold embossing powder. So for this one, I'm not going to show you exactly how I put the shakers together. It's the same exact way we've done the last couple, but I will show you for the next few. Okay, so for the next card, we're going to create this adorable little turkey, and he's got lots of pieces for the die. You have the sort of feathers, the turkey body, some legs, and a nose, and you'll see that the body kind of sits over the feathers for that foam there. So I thought it would be fun to die cut the feathers out of this striped pattern paper to make them look like those multicolor feathers that kids make in school when they create turkeys with their hand and paint them. I'm going to cut out the nose out of a little extra strip of yellow pattern paper and the legs out of a little extra strip of Kraft cardstock. And I like to do a lot of these cards together, so when I have extra strips of pattern paper or cardstock just laying around, I can put another card together. Okay, so I am going to heat emboss the sentiment at the bottom of this panel here, and I'm going to do this in white embossing powder this time. And once I have my heat tool nice and hot, I'm going to melt that embossing powder, and I love the way it stands out even on the pattern paper. I'm going to peel off the back of this turkey shape, and I am going to set it aside for a second because I decided to mount this all on Kraft cardstock. Okay, so now I'm going to adhere the little feathers, and then I'm going to adhere the foam shape on top of those. I'm going to pour in my toppings to those feathers, just use a couple of colors again just for that fun effect. Peel off the top protective layer and lay down the matching acetate, and that's going to keep those shaker goodies all inside. Next, I'm going to work on the little turkey body. And what I wanted to do was put a little bit of pattern paper behind those eyes that are cut out so that it wasn't going to be white eyes. Next, I'm going to put the feather frame around the feathers and then adhere the body on top of that. This way, everything is in the right perspective. I used a jewel picker to pick up that little tiny yellow nose, and I'm going to adhere that and the legs with some liquid adhesive. So that was super, super easy. And this is probably the easiest of all, just one shaker shape. This is the pumpkin. I'm going to use some Kraft cardstock for the sentiment, and I'm going to ink the edges with that Distress Oxide ink. I'm going to use another color of Distress Oxide ink to stamp the sentiment, and I'm going to use my Misty to get it nice and straight, and I'm going to also use my Misty to multiple stamp it so that that Distress Oxide ink lays on top of the cardstock, but I wanted it really, really dark and vibrant. I'm going to layer some pattern papers on top of each other, and then I am going to adhere the sentiment to the right-hand side of the card. I'm making a horizontal card this time. I'm going to cut the pumpkin, which cuts the center and the frame, out of glitter cardstock, and then I'm going to cut the little stem out of some brown pattern paper. Pop out the center of the foam shape, peel off the back protective layer and lay it down on your pattern paper. Adhere that little glitter cardstock inside, pour your toppings inside, peel off the top protective layer and lay down your die cut acetate, and then adhere that little glitter frame that you die cut. And last but not least, adhere that little pumpkin stem. So that is the Happy Harvest kit from Queen & Co. and a whole ton of shaker cards that you can make with it. Obviously, you get lots more shapes in the kit, so you could make lots more cards than we made here today, but I just wanted to show you quickly how to put them all together. If you are interested in the supplies that I used today, they will all be linked down below. The kit is available now, so that will be linked as well. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel here, check out my blog for more information, and I'll have a couple of other videos that you might be interested in here as well. I want to thank you so much for stopping by today. Have a wonderful day.